Hi, this Strong and Sturdy series is going to be focused on balance and activating those muscles that help us balance. So first of all, let's find our strong and sturdy stance. So first we're going to focus on our standing Tadasana pose, most important fundamental pose of all yoga. If you can't get that alignment in Tadasana, then everything you do afterwards is just really going to be etching in the wrong muscle patterns instead of the right muscle patterns to be strong and sturdy. So here we go. We're going to start with Tadasana. Look down at your feet. Make sure that they are parallel. The toes are facing forward. There's a distance between your knees, especially those of you who are a little more knock-kneed. See what you can do to activate that movement to get those knees apart. Those of you who tend to splail out like a bow-legged, see what you can do to draw those knees inwards. Notice which muscles you're using to pull that alignment into where you need to be in the center. Very good. So once we have that pose, I want you to notice what's happening to your knees right now. Make sure that they're not locked backwards, really, like you're tall and straight and locked in position, right? You want to have a little bit of softness to the knee, so never overextend the knee joint. Bad situation, right? Now notice where your shoulders are. They should be comfortable by your side. They shouldn't be rolled back like in a military position. And they shouldn't be rolled forward like a round in a slump, right? They should be down by your side, palms facing inward, and there you know that you are in this beautiful Tadasana pose. So Tadasana is a pose of balance in itself, right? You might even notice if you're swaying one way or the other, just kind of notice it. Put your hands on your hips and you know that stabilizes your balance, right? So whenever you get dizzy, especially if you come up and down off of a chair or off of the floor, putting your hands on your hips stabilizes you. Good, so we've got that. Now we're gonna come up to the tippy toe on one foot. Good, and then place it down on the heel and then the other foot. Very good. Now just this little super easy motion is strengthening those quad muscles. Remember, those are the ones that lift your kneecap and keep your kneecap in place and help you out. Good. And then we're going to alternate that, right? Alternate that. Very good. Very good. So this is the prancing that we talk about a lot. I love it because it signifies strength and alignment and tracking and resilience. Just doing this. Good. And it's also like a little dance, right? Good. And now when you come back to the center, we're going to do Tadasana with both tippy toes. We're going to come up, 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 up on our tippy toes. Good. And all the way down. Good. And again, up on the tippy toes. Good. And then down. And then one more, up on the tippy toes. Hold it just a little bit. Good, good. Notice what your knees are doing. They're so strong, aren't they? Good. And down. Now we're going to add the arms, only if it feels safe for you. Otherwise, keep your hands on your hips. Here we go. We're going to inhale up, 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 up. Good. And then down we go. Good. Hands by your side. Very good. We're going to do two more. Inhale up. Reach up. Good. Good job. Whoa. I'm losing balance, but I'm trying. I'm trying. Good. And down. And one more time. Up, 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 up. Oh, I'm going to go all the way for it. I'm going to go for it. Yes, I am. Up, up, up. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. You got it. 3, 2, 1. And slowly. Wow, that's some work, huh? Take a leg and shake it out a little bit. Take the other leg and shake it out a little bit. Very good. And then let's do just a little marching. Just a little marching. Good. All right, so we are going to wake up some muscles right now, and we're going to notice which muscles we're waking up. So when we're holding and we're balancing, we're going to be able to activate those muscles, okay? Are you ready? First one we're going to activate is the vastus medialis. Oh my gosh, that is a mouthful, isn't it? It's a very important muscle. It's the muscle that I had to work in order to get my patella tracking to be strong and straight again and never slip out. Hopefully never slip out. So this is how we activate that muscle. We're going to put our hands on our hips. As you know, that's a stabilizing force for all of our balancing. And then we're going to do a little toe point forward. And your big toe is facing forward, right? Yeah. What we want to do is we want to take a slight penguin foot, which means it's going to be everted. That means the toes are out and the heels are in a little bit. Maybe 30 degrees, not too much. And you're going to hold it up above the ground for, oh, I don't know. What do you think? A count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And return that back. Whoa. That was the vastus medialis, the most inner of your quad muscles right in here. This is the muscle that usually is the weakest of the 4, of the quadriceps, right? This is the one that we really need to work on for that internal support of our knee joint, right? See, I always can see my knees slipping in. If you ever catch me doing that, we know that that's me not activating the appropriate muscles, right? So here we go on the other side. We're going to take that left foot out. We're going to point it, find our balance, good. and then slightly take the foot out, everted, like a penguin foot, I say, and lift it up a little bit. Does not have to be high. It doesn't to get the work. No, you don't have to go high, okay? Sometimes when you go too high, it actually activates your lower back muscles, and we don't want to do that. We're just focusing right there on that inner quad. And let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, good. And maybe a little shake out and a little shake out. Okay, so now let's work on the vastus lateralis. What does that mean? Lateralis, lateral, medial, middle. Okay, so now we're working on the lateral quads. These are the muscles that get you up off of a chair. Those of you who've done chair yoga with me, you know that we do a lot of blast-offs, right? Which is sitting in the chair, then coming up and sitting down and coming up. All of that time that we're doing that, we are strengthening those outer quad muscles, those vastus lateralis, right? And we're gonna do that using a standing chair pose. So standing chair can be done in various ways. I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can see. And we're going to have our feet parallel, and I want you to pretend you're sitting back on a stool, okay? So it's not a chair, even though we call it chair pose, I'm gonna call it stool for now, right? So right now we're sitting down on a stool, a high stool, a bar stool. Doesn't have to, again, be high. This is where we're gonna notice our tracking, right? We're gonna look down, knees are straight, toes are straight. See if you could sit back a little bit. Take one arm on each thigh and just hold it there. You might even lock your arms a little bit. That gives you a little bit better support. And just hold it, and maybe you're holding onto your thighs and you feel that muscle. You feel those thigh muscles gripping and getting strong. Yeah, you probably feel it a little bit in your butt as well. Yeah. Only if it feels good. We're gonna take one arm out in front. Good, and down. Other arm out in front. Good, and you know where we're going. Only if it feels good for you. Both arms out in front. We're gonna hold it. And if you can sit back a little bit, oh yeah, you can feel it a little bit more. We are working our quads, actually all 4 of them, but mostly the lateral one. Oh, that's work, isn't it? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way up. Very good. Give it a nice little shake out and a shake out. Very good. So here's going to be a little insider tip that you're never going to notice anybody doing, and you probably won't even notice you're doing it, but it's important, okay? So as I mentioned before, sometimes people are built differently, of course, and we cannot externally rotate our hips out, right? Which is that first position in ballet. So if I were to do that with my heels and my knees touching, I can only go about this far. I cannot go all the way out like that, because again, my hip bones don't allow that movement, right? So what I want to do is I want to be able to be in Tadasana pose, and when I feel weak, which sometimes my knees get tired, they will tend to drift inward. They will tend to drift inward. You'll catch me sometimes, I know. I'm working on that continually. So what I need to do is I need to pretend I'm in that ballerina first position pose and take my hip bones and my femur and pull them out in the socket, outward. Yes. Do you see that that automatically opened up my legs? I feel that strength in my quads. I feel the proper alignment in my knees. So whenever I'm feeling weak and I'm not engaging my muscles, I can tell because my knees start to turn inward. It's all about, think about first position ballerina, right? Now for those of you who are bow-legged, right? I can't even do it because there's no way my knees are gonna go that way. The opposite for you. You wanna internally rotate those hip bones. So you bring your kneecaps a little closer to each other. And you can catch that yourself when you're standing in your bow-legged position, for instance, and you feel that there's a big wide gap down there. What you want to do is you want to take those hip bones and roll them in a little bit. Then you'll find that your legs are a little bit straighter. So that is the internal work that we do when we're in our poses. Sometimes teachers will cue you for that, but sometimes it's up to you to kind of know where your anatomy is and where your anatomy needs the support, right? Very good. All right, so now we're going to take this all into a yoga pose called Warrior One. Warrior One is a very common pose, as you know. I love it. It's a pose of strength and confidence. So we're going to take one foot forward, the other foot back. Doesn't matter which one because you know we're doing both. This is where we're going to do a little bit of internal scoping work, okay? Front knees bent. I'm looking down. I see my second and third toe is lined up with my kneecap. Good job. I'm not floating in. I also want to activate that inner quad muscle. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I'm going to slightly, just slightly take that hip and rotate it out. Remember, pretending I'm in that ballerina first position, kind of moving that hip out and then pulling up that inner thigh. I feel it right now. I feel it right now. The back leg, this back leg is not just lazing about. It's actually working too, right? So heel is down, quad is lifted. We're working the external, right, the lateral quads right here. Good. And then we're going to just slightly shift forward, and let's bring that into cactus arms. Good. And you know it's all about holding a little bit longer than we're used to. So we're doing that. Hopefully I'm diverting your attention by talking. So you're just going to feel it. I want you to feel the quads lifting. I want you to feel that back foot strong and solid. I want you to notice if you can just wiggle or lift your toes a little bit. That means you're not gripping there in your arches and your feet. Yeah, all of those little nuances, just doing warrior one. We're getting strong and we're getting balanced. Good. Now take your arms all the way out. I call this airplane wings. And then we're going to lean forward just a little bit, maybe 6 inches or so. And you're going to pull up the core. And I want you to imagine that you're pulling up that sleeve or that sock from your foot all the way up through your ankle, your calf, your knee, your thigh, your core, all the way up through your body. Yeah, that pulling in and pulling up sensation I talk about a lot. You're holding it. Good job. I'm feeling my hamstrings working too. Good, and bring your hands to your hips, and let's do the other side. So step it forward, other leg's gonna go back. Remember, most important thing is finding your alignment that is supported for your body. So we're bending that front leg, looking down, making sure the kneecap is in the center of the second and the third toe, and your toes have a little room to wiggle, yeah. Back foot feels nice and strong and grounded. You almost feel like a little lifting and effort in that outside quad there on the back leg. Good. And then we're going to take the hips and square them a little bit. Remember to draw up that inner quad muscle, the vastus medialis. Yeah, that's the culprit of a lot of our knee problems. We got to activate that guy. Good. And then we're going to take the arms into cactus again, holding for your strength. Let's see if you can take a nice deep breath. Here we go. Release it. And a breath. Good job. Okay, take your arms out. Hold it. And then we're going to take a breath and exhale a little bit down. Remember, it's not super far. Now, maybe just peek down at your knee. Let's see if it floated in or floated out, depending on what our issues are. You know all the little nuances now, right? As soon as you feel something's a little out of whack, you'll be able to find those muscles and get it back on track. Good, and then bring your hands to your hips and then walk it forward. All right, good job. Now, we've got all those muscles activated, right? We're gonna try a little bit of balancing, okay? So let's come back to our Tadasana, hands on our hips. We're gonna lift a foot up, this time a little bit higher. Again, doesn't matter which foot, you're gonna hold it. And I just want you to hold it. Just notice, if you're swaying, that's okay, right? We're creating strength. We're activating the proprioception of our body, which is where our body is in space at all times. When we know that, we can catch ourselves if we stumble. Good. You're holding that? You got it? Feels good, huh? And if you lose your balance, don't worry about it. It's okay. We're just practicing. Good, and then release it. Good, maybe do a little pony there. And let's go to the other side. Lift it up, hold it, and you're actually gonna lift it up off the ground because we're just gonna go a little bit higher. And I notice, we've got the quad working, of course, right? All those quad muscles are working right now. But guess what? Right in here, this area, the pelvic area, the core is all lifted as well. It's coming with you. It's coming with you on that lift. Good. Hold it. Are you feeling stronger now? Do you notice your balance getting maybe a little bit better? Yeah, maybe. Good, and then release it, a little pony. Good, and now we're gonna do a slow moving march. So this is transitioning our weight from one leg to another, keeping our balance. So here we go, we're gonna go up and lift, and then down. Up and lift, and down. Good, up and lift, and then down. Oh, is your core working? I think it is. Up and lift, and down. Let's add the arms. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Good. Opposite arm. Oop, I screwed up. and then alternating. Good. And one more. Very good. Hands on your hips. How about a hula hoop? Oh yeah, that will loosen things up a little bit, and then the other way. Very good. And now we're going to work on Warrior 3, and we'll go into a pose called Toppling tree. So here we go. We're going to go to the side, top of the mat a little bit. Feet are parallel. Right foot's going to stay, left foot's going to step back. We're in that Warrior 1 stance, right? The hips are facing forward. Let's double check. Look down at your kneecap. Make sure your toes are facing forward. Good. And then we're going to bear the weight on that front leg. And we can just lean forward and bear the weight, or we can take a little hop skip with that back foot, and then we're going to take flight. So we're going to just come up and come up and come up. Good. Holding that. Holding that. Back foot can be flexed or pointed, doesn't matter. And only if you feel steady, arms out to the side. And if you want to go for the full expression of Warrior 3, the arms extend outward like you're reaching forward in life. And if your gaze can go out there as well, all the better. At any time, you can drop that back toe for additional support. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hands to prayer. Back foot gently comes back to meet the front. Yes, that was super hard. I admit it, it was super hard for me as well. So anytime, get out of the pose, put that foot down, make any adjustments. Remember, we're building strength little by little, okay? So here we go, other side, hands on the hips, left foot stays, right foot steps back. Hips squared forward. We're gonna double check the knee and the toes. By now you know why, right? We are etching in the strongest, straightest muscle groups, okay? We're gonna lean on that front leg, bear all the weight as we lift up the back leg. And remember, the front leg is a little micro bending, Never lock your knee, one of the worst things for your knee health. And if you're feeling solid and sturdy there, you can take your arms out to the side, spread your fingers. These are your wings. Do you know that back in the day, way many million years ago, our arms were an extension of our heart and they were our wings, way back in the day. Good. That's why we give people hugs. It's a part of our heart. Good. And again, if you feel good, you want to go for it, there you go. Warrior 3, looking forward in life, maybe gazing up. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper and I'm going to really reach. I'm going to go for it. You decide what you want to do there. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To the heart, and the leg comes back. Good work. That was a lot of work, and I know that was. Take a leg and shake it out in front of you, and a leg and shake it out in front of you. Very good. Let's just talk a little bit about standing on one leg, just to make a reminder of what we're really doing here. We're actually activating 3 important groups of muscles besides those quads that we talked about a lot, right? We're working the gluteus muscles. There's 3 of them. The big one, gluteus maximus, right? We always think about that one as being the gluteus muscles, but there's actually 2 others, a gluteus medius and minimus. Those medius and minimus gluteus muscles are the ones that stabilize you when you stand and when you balance. If you don't have strong side hip muscles, which those are, your hips will tend to splay out, right? And then that's going to compromise your knee and your ankle joints. So we want to feel like those muscles are hugging in to the bone. Remember that kind of sensation, hugging into the bone. So we're going to do that by just a little lateral lift. So hands on your hips, you know how good that is for our balance by now, right? Shift your weight to one leg, again, doesn't matter which one. And the outside, the other leg is going to go out to the side, and we're just going to hold it. Yeah, hold it. Toes are facing forward. We're going to hold it. Remember, we're balancing. What about the standing leg? What does that feel like? For me, mine's a little shifty right now. It's kind of moving side to side. I'm noticing my knee. I'm lifting my quads. I want to make sure I'm not locking my knee. Good. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Oh, that was a little work. Take it out to the side. Very good. So that stretches those gluteus muscles, right? So we were just strengthening those muscle fibers, and now we're making them long and resilient. Let's go to the other side. So bearing your weight on the other leg. You're going to lift your leg out to the side, other leg. Toes are facing forward. Now, for those of you who have a tendency to have your foot turned out, I want you to the best you can, moving from your hip, not from your ankle, and getting that whole leg bone to face forward. By doing that, we're getting into those gluteus medius and minimus muscles, and we're strengthening them. These are your muscles that hold you up one-legged. Yeah, I'm using them right here on this leg, right? I'm strengthening them here, but I'm using them here to balance. And we're gonna count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down, and a little hip movement, releasing those muscles. Very good. Give it a shake, give it a shake. Okay, the last pose, the pinnacle pose as we call that in our yoga class, is toppling tree. And this is how it looks. We're gonna come to the top of our mat. We're gonna take the hands out in front of us, palm to palm, turn them back to back, bring them all the way back behind you, and clasp them. Yeah. So if that's way too much for your shoulders, it's not feeling good, then I want you to just grab your wrists like this, and even put your hands on your hip if that doesn't feel good, okay? So I'm gonna interlace them, grab them, pull my shoulders back. Good. I'm gonna balance on my right leg to begin with. So just like with our warrior 3, I'm gonna step 1 foot back. That front leg is gonna be my balancing leg, right? And I'm gonna lean forward, and I'm gonna lift that back leg up, and then I'm gonna lift my arms up off of my back. Toppling tree. Good, this is beautiful for your alignment, of course, of your legs, but what about your back? We are activating those rhomboids, we're activating the erector spinaeas, those back muscles that keep your spine erect. We're opening up our chest, our heart center, and we're breathing. Remember, we're never holding our breath here. Oh, and we're gonna hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it all the way back down. That was super hard. I'm just telling you, it's super hard. And remember, let it be hard. Because when we're making it hard, we're making it good for ourselves. Never go to the point of pain and suffering though. So be mindful in that. Here we go, other side. If you can, we're gonna interlace the hands, right, the other way. So hands interlace, back to back, all the way behind you. We're gonna step the other foot back, maybe even look down, double check that alignment, and then we're gonna lean on that front leg, lift up from the back. The standing leg, oh, what are we using now? We learned all those muscles, right? The quad muscles are lifting. The gluteus medius, minimus are working on the standing leg, and the gluteus maximus is working on the lifted leg. And if you can, lift your arms off your back a little bit. This one you can actually go a little further, only if it's accessible. Remember, the bottom knee is not locked. There's a little micro bend. Notice your toes, don't let them grip. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good, all the way down. And release it, good, shake it out. Very good. So that was the balancing part of our Strong and Sturdy series. I know it was hard, you probably lost your balance a few times, but if you keep on doing this video over and over for over a couple of weeks and months, you'll find that your balance is gonna get better because your muscles are gonna have the memory of what they need to do to keep you tall, upright, sturdy, and straight. Thanks for practicing with me today. Namaste.